In the heart of a bustling city, there was a salon like no other. This wasn't just an ordinary place where women went to get their hair done. It was a magical haven where the impossible happened. The salon belonged to a woman named Seraphina. She was known as the Witch Braider. Seraphina was beautiful, her skin as smooth as silk, her eyes a deep, glowing black that seemed to see into your soul. But there was something more than just beauty about her. She had a gift, or perhaps a curse, depending how you looked at it. Seraphina could braid anyone's hair in seconds. It didn't matter if your hair was long or short, curly or straight, thick or thin. The moment you sat in her chair, magic happened. You wouldn't even feel her finger touch your scalp. Within the blink of an eye, your hair was transformed into the most intricate, stunning styles you had ever seen. People from all over the city came to her salon, eager to experience the miracle of Seraphina's touch. Her waiting area was always full, her schedule packed for weeks ahead. But there was one strange rule in Seraphina's salon. No mirrors until hair was done. Women often joke about it. Why won't she let us see ourselves while she's working? They whispered, but the result was so breathtaking. No one ever questioned it too much. After all, how could you complain when left her salon looking like a queen? But beyond Seraphina's salon success was a secret so dark, so dangerous that no one could ever imagine. You see, Seraphina wasn't just a braider, she was a witch, and her braiding wasn't done by human hands alone. She had help, spiritual hands, dozens of them. They floated invisibly around her, weaving, twisting, and braiding hair faster than any human could. Each time Seraphina took a new client, her spiritual helpers worked in silence, making the hair perfect while she stood there smiling. But there was more to her magic than just quick hands. Seraphina wasn't braiding hair for free. Each braid, every twist came at a cost. She was stealing her customers' destinies. The more beautiful their hair, the more their good fortune Seraphina took from herself. The woman who left her salon looks amazing, but as soon as they stepped back into their lives, they found that things started going wrong. Some lost their jobs, others struggled in their relationships, and many faced bad luck that seemed to come out of nowhere. Their fortunes, their happiness, their futures were slowly being drained away. And Seraphina, she grew richer, more powerful. Her bank account swelled with money. She bought houses, cars, and luxuries. Yet, she never married, never had any true relationship. She told herself that love was a weakness and that children were only good for one thing: adoption. Yes, she planned to adopt a child someday, but not out of love. It was simply to complete the perfect picture of her life. But as Seraphina's power grew, so did her greed. She wanted more clients, more spiritual hands to help her braid faster and faster. More money, more house was filled with expensive items, yet it never felt like enough. Then, one day, something happened that Seraphina never saw coming. Her salon was busier than ever as client after client entered Seraphina's share. On this particular day, one of her clients, a woman named Naomi, had come prepared. Naomi had heard the rumors. She had heard the whispers from women whose lives had fallen apart after visiting Seraphina's salon. At first, Naomi had thought it was just gossip, but when her own sister visited Seraphina, her life took a strange turn. Her sister had always been successful, But after her visit to Salon, her business crumbled and nothing seemed to go right. Determined to get to the bottom of things, Naomi decided to visit Seraphina herself. She booked an appointment just like everyone else, but she wasn't going in blind. Her bag, she carried a small mirror. When Naomi's turn came, she sat in Seraphina's chair like everyone else. The witch braider smiled, running her fingers through Naomi's thick hair. "This will be quick," Seraphina said with a sly smile. Naomi nodded, but her heart pounded. She felt a strange sensation like invisible fingers weaving through her hair. The speed was shocking, but she stayed calm. Then, just as Seraphina turned away for a moment, Naomi acted. She quickly pulled out her mirror and held it up to see what was happening. What she saw nearly made her scream. On top of her head were dozens of hands, ghostly hands, braiding her hair in a blur. They moved so fast, twisting and weaving, that it was hard to keep track. And Seraphina stood there, her face calm as if she was controlling them with her mind. Naomi's blood ran cold. The hands weren't just braiding her hair, they were reaching into her soul, pulling something out of her. She couldn't feel it now. The pull, the loss, the strange draining sensation. Seraphina turned back and saw the mirror in Naomi's hand. Eyes widened in shock. "What have you done?" she hissed. Her voice no longer sweet, but cold and filled with rage. Naomi jumped out of the chair, her heart racing. "I saw it. I saw the hands. What are you doing to us?" The other women in the salon turned to watch, fear gripping into their eyes. Seraphina's calm masked and cracked, and the truth were spilling out. "You weren't supposed to see that," Seraphina growled, her voice low and dangerous. "You have no idea what you have done." Naomi took a step back, clutching the mirror tightly. "You are stealing from us, our futures, our luck, everything." Seraphina laughed, a harsh, bitter sound. "And why shouldn't I? I give you beauty beyond your wildest dream, and in return, I take what I deserve. Do you know how much power it takes to do what I do? You all should be grateful." The other clients, realizing what had been happening, began to murmur in fear and anger. They slowly backed away, their hands touching their hair as if trying to feel for the visible hands that had stolen their futures. Naomi wasn't backing down. "You are a monster," she shouted. "You have destroyed life, but you won't take anything more from me." Without warning, she smashed the mirror on the floor. She sound echoed through the salon, and suddenly the spiritual hands vanished. The air around them seemed to shift as if a spell had been broken. Seraphina gasped, her power slipping away from her grasp. She tried to summon the hands back, but nothing happened. Panic flashed in her dark. "You ruined everything," Seraphina screamed, but the magic was gone. The power she had stolen from so many women began to seep back into the air, returning to those it has been taken from. Naomi stared at her, calm and strong. "Your time is over." With that, the other client left the salon whispering and shaking their heads. Seraphina's empire of magic was falling apart. As the sun set that day, Seraphina stood alone in her once busy salon, her spiritual hands gone, her power broken. All the riches she has accumulated felt hollow, and her once bright future now seemed dark and empty. The witch braider had been defeated by her own greed. As she looked around her empty salon, she knew she would never braid again. The end.